Alright, in today's video, we're going to visit a Revolutionary War cemetery that's got an Indian mound in the middle. Let's go take a look. Alright everybody, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to go up and we're going to revisit the Mound Cemetery in Marietta, Ohio. We've been there before. We did a quick look at it when we were showcasing the mounds in another video we did a couple months back. They founded a cemetery around it in 1801 as a way to preserve the mound. And there are a lot of people that were interred there before Ohio was even a state. It has the claim of having the most Revolutionary War officers interred in it than any other cemetery in America. And I thought that was pretty cool, and I wanted to go take a look at that. So when we get up there, we got some goals in mind. We kind of wanted to look at the mound and the structure. It differs a little bit from the other mounds in the area. It actually still has kind of a moat or an embankment around it. So we wanted to get a look at that. And then they have some features incorporated into it that kind of turn the cemetery like into a park. There's stairs and there are benches, and then there's a place at the top where you can kind of get a good bird's eye view of the cemetery. So we're going to get a look at that. And then while we're there, we're going to find some of the prominent figures that are interred in this cemetery. And then we're going to try to find the oldest grave, the first person that was buried there. So we'll see when we get up there. All right, we're headed up to the cemetery now. As you can see, all the streets around it are still brick laid. There's a lot of old houses in here, some of them probably 150, 200 years old at least. I know a lot of them were preserved from when they first settled the town. I'm not sure which ones are which, but we're going to stop before we go to the cemetery here. We found us a little library. We're going to see if there's any goodies inside this thing. Well, the side of it's got cool, like engraved wood design. Really nicely built. It's got like a wooden roof on it. That's pretty cool. It's about 2 or 3 blocks from the cemetery that we're getting ready to go to. I found me a book I'm going to take home. Classic Philosophical Questions. So, close her up. We're going to head on down. We parked in front of this really old looking house here. It actually has a little type of crest, some type of sign on it there. It says the Hovey home. I think I'm pronouncing it right, maybe Hovey, since 1841. So this house here has been around since before the Civil War, about 35 years after Ohio was formed. And it is right here. We are right beside the cemetery now. You can see the streets all around it are still old brick laid streets. And if you can see in the middle, out in the distance there's the mound. So we're gonna get in here and we're gonna get a look at it here in a second. Well, look here, we were on our way in, we found a friend. Hi kitty cat. How are you? There's a nice kitty here. Yeah. There we go. Everybody likes a good back scratch. All right, we'll see you later. To the inside of the cemetery right here. Now there's a small hill here. I think it's natural. It could be a mound, but I'm not too sure. The only thing I've ever heard of from reading that's anything Native American related in this cemetery is this big mound in the middle here. Lots of old graves. 1851. Lots of people in here were born before Ohio was ever formed. And a couple people were actually interred in here 2 years before this part of the Northwest Territory became Ohio. Now here's one of the 4 graves that we wanted to find right off the bat. That is Benjamin Tupper of the Army of the American Revolution, born Sharon, Massachusetts, 1738, died 1792. So he had to have been moved because, from what I've read, this cemetery was started in 1801, and that's 9 years after he had passed away. So there's one of the 4. We're going to get up here and take a look at this mound, and we're going to try to find the other 3, and we're also going to try to find the oldest grave in the cemetery. So we'll get here and get a look at it. Here's the neat feature that goes around it, I kind of referred to as a moat. Douglas, walk down in that and give them a good idea of how deep it is. Walk through there about 5 or 10 feet. Where we're at, we're about 4 or 5 feet above his head, and he's down in the bottom, and then that side up there doesn't come up quite as high. It's about 2 feet lower than this side up here, and that goes all the way around. And if I'm correct, I think this was the one spot right through here you could walk through and get into the mound. Now, as far as I know, I don't think there are any graves inside of the moat. There's a rock there, but I think that's just natural. I don't think that's marking anything. Got some lines in it though. I wonder if that's an old native artifact that they left. Maybe it's a piece of a headstone. They're pretty uniform. All right, we're gonna go up to the top here. Alrighty, we're up here. Bub's got him a little bench there and Emma's hanging out. At the top of it here is a little time capsule, and it reads, "Beneath this stone is a time capsule placed here in commemoration of the bicentennial celebration of the United States of America by the Marietta Junior Bicentennial Commission, July 3rd, 1976, to be opened July 4th, 2076. Somebody's placed some little rocks here as mementos or something. But you can see all the way around. It's a pretty good go down. We're coming back around to the stairs here. We're probably 40 feet in the air if I had to guess. And that's the mound right at the center of the cemetery. We're going to go down and look at some of the people that are interred here and see if we can find the folks that we were looking for. All right, here's an infographic for the whole cemetery, and it's got information over here. It's a little long. I'm going to go ahead and get a picture of it there, and you guys can pause and read that. But over here's the more important part. This has a name and a list of where all the graves are, and it actually does a little bit of the work for us that we were going to try to do, because we've got the oldest burial right here. The first burial is Colonel Robert Taylor, and then numbers 4, 11, 13, and 14 were the 4 graves we wanted to find. And that's Rufus Putnam, Abraham Whipple, William Stacy, and Benjamin Tupper. So you can see there's little numbers here of where they're all located based off their location around the mound. So we're going to use that to hopefully speed up the process a little bit. So we'll see what we can find. So we're looking at it, and all the burials we want to find are in the top left quadrant of the cemetery. Looks like maybe that was where they started interring people first, because the oldest person's there and some of the most prominent. So we're going to go back there, kind of around where we came in, and see if we can find all these. So when we first came in, we found the first grave, which is Benjamin Tupper. And right here is the second of the 5 we're looking for. And this is Commodore Abraham Whipple. Died May of 1819, aged 85 years. It's hard to read a lot of that on that side. It's kind of wore away, but you can read everything that's on this part of the grave here. You get a good picture of it. You can pause that and read a little bit of history here. Now this graveyard, like I mentioned before, it has the highest number interment of Revolutionary War officers of any graveyard in the U.S. allegedly. All right, Douglas found the third one. And that is Colonel William Stacy. Get you a good picture of that one there. Here's the little marker that sits beside it. There's the third. The only one we have left to find of the original 4 we're looking for is Rufus Putnam. And we still have to find Taylor's grave as well. So we're going to see if we can't find them. They're in a little further back part of the corner that we're in. This isn't one of the ones we're looking for, but this is a little part of the West Virginia history I like. This lady here was born in Vienna. At the time, that would have been 62 years when she was born, before West Virginia was formed, so it was still known as Vienna, Virginia. You'll find a lot of graves like that as people were interred before the Civil War. You'll find Parkersburg, Virginia. You'll find Charleston, Virginia, because West Virginia wasn't a thing. We were formed June 20th, 1863. Alrighty, Emma, it looks like she found the first grave that was put in here. Yep, there it is. Colonel Robert Taylor. He departed this life September 30th, 1801, in the 65th year of his age, being the first interment in this burying ground. Alright, so we found the oldest grave here. Now, let's go and try to find the very last one, Mr. Rufus Putnam. All right, Douglas found the last one. It's a pretty big one here. General Rufus Putnam, Revolutionary officer and the leader of the colony which made the first settlement in the territory of the Northwest at Marietta, April 7th, 1788. Born April 9th, 1738, and died May 4th, 1824. And then below it, Persis Rice, wife of Rufus Putnam, born on November 9th, 1737, died September 6th, 1820. The memory of the just is blessed. And then there's another little bronze plaque down here. Rufus Putnam, first Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of the Free and Accepted Masons of Ohio, 1808. Master of American Union, 1794, 98, 1800, 1804, and 1805. And there's his little marker. Alrighty. Well, we found every grave we were looking for today, so that's pretty cool. Hey, I just want to say thanks for watching the video. If you guys liked it, let us know. If you have any extra questions about the cemetery or the mound, feel free to leave them down in the comment section. Give the video a like, it helps us out. And if you know anybody that likes that kind of stuff, go ahead and share it with them. Spread the word and leave us a subscribe too, that helps a lot. So we just want to say thanks again for stopping by and happy hunting on the river, guys.